Hello and welcome to another episode of Never Fail Ale. Today I'm going to review an absolute classic of an ale. But first, interesting beer news. It really is very interesting. Terms and conditions apply. Check our website that doesn't exist for more details. Hello! A brewery is hoping to open a beer school that would offer classes on the history and styles of traditional and modern beer. Bully Brews, founded by Alan Williams, has submitted an application to Dorset Council for permission to use a small unit at Duck Farm Workshops in Brockhampton, near Dorchester, as an educational site. The business also hopes to sell alcohol on and off the premises throughout the week. Oh, lovely. Back to you, Aaron. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Aaron. Anyway, like I was saying, I'm going to taste test an absolute classic of an ale. Well, for me, it's a classic, and it's from Exmoor Ales. Now, I remember seeing this particular brew many, many moons ago. I remember walking in to an old country pub, seeing it there on the pump clip, and just thinking, yes, I want one of those. And today I'm going to review Exmoor Gold. So this is the bottle itself here. And I am one for branding. I do love a nice, strong brand. And to me, even the brand itself on this particular bottle shouts old school. And it actually says on there, Exmoor Gold, the original golden ale. So I think that's probably what they're going for, is the old classic look. And it definitely works. It's traditional, nothing too fancy about it. And yeah, really looking forward to trying this one. Even the smell of it from the bottle itself just takes me back to that old country pub. And I think that's what they're going for. So before we get to pouring it, I just wanted to take a look at their website. And it doesn't really have much information on Exmoor Ales themselves, which I do find is a real shame. So when a brewer decides to go ahead and put a website up and put a shop up, I really think they should have a bit of background history on the brewer itself. But in this occasion, it's not present on their website, unfortunately. So what I've done is I've gone onto their online shop, and it actually states that it was brewed in 1986. And it goes on to say they produced the first modern golden ale. Designed as a single malt beer, it was a stunning counterbalance to the traditional beers of the day, which were brown as old as sideboard or as coal black as Irish dry stout. So yeah, it would certainly seem as if they're kind of pointing to yesteryear, and I do feel that the brand definitely reflects that. So let's give it a pour and just see what it's like. Now, as you can see, it's pouring beautifully. It's actually quite a late one tonight, so I'm really conscious of you not actually getting much in terms of daylight. Very much artificial light, but you can see how well that's poured, and it is a lovely colour. On their description, it says it's a colour of Chardonnay. I'm not a wine drinker, so I don't know. Is it the colour of Chardonnay? It could well be. Let's give it a smell. Oh, yes. Like I say, in terms of the bottle itself, or from the bottle, it really does. It just gives me, it's as if I'm kind of having a bit of deja vu of being back in that old country pub. I know I've said it a couple of times now, but it really does seem to work well. And it's definitely a nod to yesteryear. But yeah, very floral, dare I say quite earthy. yeah, it's quite a nice earthy smell to it, that's for sure. So let's give it a taste. By the way, just before we do give it a taste, what I did notice on the back of this particular bottle, and I don't see it very often, is it suggests to serve it at room temperature. Now, when I go to a bar or to a pub, I really want the cask ale to be as close as that ideal 12-degree temperature point as possible, because I know people in the past and connoisseurs and even brewers themselves would suggest a temperature between 8 degrees at the very coldest and 12 degrees at the very warmest. I really do like my ales to be the warmer end of the spectrum, so as close to that 12-degree point as possible. So I do find it quite interesting how on the bottle it says to serve it at room temperature or refrigerate to taste, it says. So I kept it at room temperature. So let's just give it a go. Oh, you can really taste, sounds odd, but you can actually really taste the bubbles. Considering it's not carbonated, you can see, I don't know if you can see that very well, but there are a number of bubbles present. But it's quite like, with a golden ale, it's got like that bitter, like bittersweet taste is probably the best way to describe it, really. Notice the little pinky there. Yeah, there's certainly a maltiness to it as well, which is actually really quite nice. I've used that term earthy in the smell. It does have like an earthy taste to it as well, which is really, really nice. It's like a, once again, old classic golden ale, and I do think it suits its tag. So I got these particular bottles from Tesco, and they had it, if I remember rightly, it was 4 bottles for £7.50, which what's that? I think I did the math at the time. I think it was £1.87 a bottle, which is actually really good value for money. 5%, which I noticed the draft on Exmoor Gold is actually 4.5. So the bottled condition ale is 5% volume. And yeah, 4 bottles for £7.50, you really can't moan. But I wanted to just go through the tasting notes that Exmoor ales write, and they actually say that, funny, yeah, because I just noticed there as regards to, it says sparkling in the glass and appealing to both ale drinkers and lager lovers, which I do understand where they're getting at there, with fresh, fruity flavours and a soft and comforting malty centre. I mentioned as regards to the maltiness taste there, kind of like a bittersweet, which is really quite strangely reassuring with the fact that it is that old classic golden ale. The aroma is a blend of fresh, grassy and floral hop with a subtly soft caramel tinged maltiness. The palate is a balance of gentle, grainy maltiness, once again, nodding to the malt, and then floral, citrusy, fresh hop fruitness. The finish is bittersweet with hints of citrus fruit weaving in and out, and it states that the hops used are Challenger, Goldings, and Fuggles. So very, very classic indeed. So yes, I think if you're looking for that old original, as they state, golden ale, I think this could well be the one for you. Cheers.